Twinsinc.
In the building. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good. I can't complain. I can't complain. I think I'm finally getting back to getting caught up.
Oh, so you back to a full week of work. Vacation over? Vegas over right
Yeah,
now?
it's over. It's done. It's
Oh
finito.
man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's over for now, but it ain't over. But for right now, it's over.
Yeah, for right now, it's pretty over. I just found out that someone took my card information, spent $314 on my card.
Oh
So it's
Lord.
pretty over for right now. You know,
Hey,
it's
wasn't this?
really,
I wasn't expecting that part. Oh, gotta
I
be
wasn't
careful of scammers
expecting
out
that.
there. Oh,
Man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. They took $314 right out of my account and we're still going. They went to some fish sporting good. I know this happened while I was away in Vegas because the person who took my identity made purchases in California. So,
oh
that's
yeah,
fairly close. Yeah.
yeah.
So, and it started from the first, which I was in Vegas, on the first. Like, oh, yeah, I wasn't even using this card out there. So, you know, yeah, that happened. But that's why it's
Okay.
good to have a reserve, twins. We need to do a show about
Always.
that. How to have a reserve. Because, I mean, at least $500. You got to have a reserve. And I'm not
Listen,
talking
I
about your savings. I'm talking
right.
about real life, just a reserve for situations like this. Like, it don't have nothing to do with savings. Thank God all my bills are paid. But, well, the bills had to be paid before the vacation could take place. But still, I stayed a couple extra days thinking I had a little leg room.
Leg room, right?
I was
Check your
like, oh,
account
my
today and
leg,
like, okay, what's
my
going on
leg is a
here?
nub. I got a nub room, but I do have reserve.
All right. Well, I'm glad
So
that it's
yeah.
not because I
Mm-mm.
don't heard horror stories, so I'm glad it's not too bad. But welcome back.
Yeah, all right. Thank
This
you.
is the real deal versus how you feel.
Yes,
Thanks
yes.
for
Hi,
everyone.
listeners.
Yes. So I see the little hand clap or I want to say it's hand clap or hearts. I don't know, but I see the love y'all giving us. Appreciate it. We're about to get
Yeah,
into
that's
this
them
topic
dusting off
today.
their feet. How you tell them when they come in? Dust their
Yeah,
shoes off or dust their
yeah,
feet
you,
off and get their
yes, you
glass?
coming. Yeah, get you a glass of water, clean, take your shoes off, show us a little bit of love that you know you're in the building. We see you, appreciate you. You could be anywhere else, but you're rocking here with us today. And we got
Yes.
a we got a goody topic here today, especially for us parents who raising kids, especially
Mm,
daughters. Yeah.
mm. I was going to stream live. I said no because I'm not going to be able to control my faces. I said, I was like, no, I won't go live. But yeah, this is a pretty dope topic today. You guys, if you haven't seen, Twinsinc and I are talking about teaching your daughters at a young age how to change diapers. And it sounds real like, what?
It
But
sounds kind of innocent, right?
yeah, it sounds very innocent. Like, but is it really going to be that innocent? And how do they, how are they receiving it? So, you guys know this is always organic discussion, but regardless of, how we go throughout the expressions and all of that, we are solution and purpose driven. So, we're going to try to come to some head on, is it a go or is it a no? Right? I think that's simply put.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get right to it. So, as a father of a daughter who's 8, who's going to be 9 in July, this is gonna be a hard no for me right out the gate. No, 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 no. Because the conversation kind of stemmed from me having this unexpected interaction that I walked in late to. So it was after the fact that my 8-year-old daughter was changing a baby boy diaper,
Mm.
and and like I was like, really, this is what we teaching her? 8 years old? Like, hold up, wait a minute, like, hold up, like, yeah, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna let y'all know, let you know. I wasn't ready because there's so many other things that she could be learning how to do right now, but changing the diaper was not on the top to do list at the age of 8, going to 9. Just wasn't my something that I had envisioned. I mean, is there some pros and cons to it? Yeah, but once again, I'm talking about that 8-year-old. So she's not even 9 or 10 yet. She's still 8. And I'm like, okay, we still trying to figure out how to read something and rephrase it without copying word for word. And we focus on changing diapers of a boy. And I have a problem with that. And then the argument was saying, well, I'm just getting her ready to babysit. What? What? Baby? No. My dog's going to be babysitting nobody. What we doing? Hold up. So, yeah, this one hit home for me. And like I said, I walked in late because I was downstairs and I came upstairs to see what I was doing. I'm like, what's going on here? Oh, she taught her how to change. I'm teaching her how to change diaper. And I said what I had to say and I walked away because I wasn't trying to make it a full blown argument conversation, but I wasn't happy at all with it. I had to just
You
kind of
sound like you
decompress.
aren't happy at all with it.
No. As a father who has a daughter, no, that's not something. And I mean, of course, the first thing in my mind is shoots to like, okay, she gonna. I didn't have a conversation about boys and babies and stuff because she's changing the diaper already. Does she even know where babies even come from? Because I didn't have this conversation with her. So is this conversation her mama had without me? Like, how did we get here? That's why he laughing, but that's you can understand that's my mind went all those places in less than a minute, and I'm still trying to get it wrapped around my
It's
head.
the how
So
did
yeah,
we get here for me. So, hold up.
hold
Wait,
up.
forget the fact that this is a baby, that's a boy. How did we get here? And your reaction, I think, is on point because too often we prematurely expose our children to things based on our exposures, right? And we talked about this a little bit
Mm-hmm.
before, because it's like you either go from one extreme to another extreme. Okay, you grew up in poverty. Now you only want to be rich. You don't even understand stability and just maintain it. Like your mind is, I gotta get the money. Or you grew up in a large family household. So changing diapers is something that, so then you go to the next extreme. I'm gonna make sure my baby know how to do this, that, and the third. And if we're not careful, we're not really doing a service to the children that we're raising because we have our lenses are still a little cloudy based on our upbringings. We got to understand that these are individuals. These are not miniature versions of ourselves. And I think too many people go into parenting thinking, oh, you're going to be like me, or you think or you act like me. Now, granted, your kids are going to have a lot of your traits. Of course, you're raising them. However, it's important not to, deflect or project, rather, these things on them. And sometimes it's innocent. And I'm sure in this situation, it was, innocently done. But, sometimes it could lead to promiscuity. It could lead to things that are a little bit more damaging, or a bigger issue. Like you said, did we even talk about where babies come from? Now you
Yes.
got to have this conversation that you might have been able to wait another 2-3 years to have, based on when they start introducing it in school. Now you kind of have to go ahead and lunge into a conversation that we not even sure if it was necessary or not.
Right. And the thing is this, my daughter is 8 and my son is 7. Like I had to if I didn't say nothing, they still be taking baths and showers together. And I had a problem with that. I said, what are we doing? We have 2 bathrooms. He in that bathroom, she in that bathroom, she didn't cover up. Like, what are we doing? It's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like the Bible back in the day where Adam and Eve were always naked. They was naked, right? To the 8th apple.
Mm-hmm.
So I get
That's
it.
Miss I Speak Life, y'all.
So that's so that's where they at right now. I have a boy and a girl or a daughter. They're in that infant stage. They don't know about anything about body parts and X, Y, Z. She just know he can stand up and she gotta sit down. That's all she know. But we didn't get to all that stuff. But I've been like, okay, we gotta still separate it because she'll need to be exposed to all that. He'll need to be exposed to that because that's where questions gonna come from. So like I said, the baby, the tipping point for me was the fact that this wasn't just the wife. It was the grandmother. It was all 3 of them.
The
It was
whole
the
squad.
grandmother, the mom. My son was there too.
What
I'm
you
like,
saying? What he was
right.
supposed to do?
I mean,
He
they
probably would have
all,
had his lesson next.
man. Listen, they was all sitting there just watching, and I just have a problem with that, exposing kids at a young age, seeing other people's private parts. I mean, listen, let's go back for a minute
But it
because,
goes into that conversation we were just having
yeah,
about the
yeah,
non-biological parents, at the same time. Because if it's a
right,
problem for the siblings, we didn't talk about siblings, and that's where a lot of molestation and all this kissing cousins and touching come from. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it in our families, and we haven't talked about it yet on this platform either. But if it's an issue to that degree for siblings, right? To understand, no, you're different, no, this, no, but at the same time, not prematurely show them things that is going to lead to more curiosity. Basically, it's opening their eyes to, okay, well, what is that? Okay, well, this is why after a certain time, no more baths together, because then they're going to ask questions.
right.
And
I mean,
it's okay to be inquisitive, but too prematurely is not healthy.
exactly. It's worse enough. I'm already policing their cell phones. I mean, don't have actual cell phones. They use them as gadgets, Wi-Fi connections. I'm already policing to make sure they're not watching anything inappropriate on YouTube, surfing the internet, or talking to total strangers online while playing these video games. I got all these privacy set on the video games. I got privacy set on the YouTube. I got privacy set on the phones. All this stuff I'm trying to make sure they don't get exposed to too early. But then in the house, I have the people who are supposed to be protecting their eyes and their minds doing the total opposite. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's tough. That's
yeah,
tough
like, okay.
because you have to
Like,
convey the message, and some people see it as it's so innocent that they only see it from their lenses, not understanding the world itself that we actually live in, regardless of how pure we may be in spirit and in all of that. We live in a perverse world, for real. Like, the world is full of perversion. You got people. Our next topic, right, coming up is with um transsexuals. So if we know that we're in an era where we talking about transsexuals, then you got to know you're in a perverse nation. Like, this is not okay under no circumstances. So you don't want to invoke that in your children, especially at a tender age of like 8. That's early. She ain't even had her little lady friend yet, probably.
And that's the thing. See, I was planning. So fathers out there, if you want to know when is the best time or when you should have a conversation about life, whatever, I was planning to have that conversation once she had her first cycle, whatever age that was. When she had that cycle, that's when I know I'm gonna jump in and give her the talk about the birds and bees and XYZ, because at that point, once she start having a cycle, she can start having kids. Not saying
Yep, that's when
she
I
gonna be
did
out
it.
there. Right. Not saying she's gonna be out there living her best life. No, but I need to
Right.
understand because one, she's gonna be
But she needs
confused
to
too.
know her body. Yeah, she needs to know her
Exactly.
body is changed and has changed in such a way that she could produce what she, the little person did, produce one of those. Another
Right. And
life.
also exactly. And before you hit play, because I'm gonna play before you get too deep in it. Now,
Okay.
I wouldn't have a big of a problem if the baby she was chasing was a girl, because the reason why I say that, because they have baby dolls, and the baby dolls
Mm-hmm.
are girls, and
Mm-hmm.
I could look to my left in the man cave where the kids have the little play area. I see naked dolls over here. Okay, so that's not a problem. So I wouldn't have been as upset with her chasing a girl baby, because she's a girl herself, so she understands her body part. But chasing a boy was really had me on 100 low key. Like, if like
100
yeah, I was
had
hot.
you is what you saying. Yeah, you still a little there though, because you
Oh yeah,
came
yeah,
in
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
flames today. Let me go ahead and
But
press play. Let me see
yeah,
what they got to say. All right. Hold on.
Damn, y'all are speaking some real shit.
appreciate it. Listen,
Thank
we
you.
just
Thank
warming
you.
up. We just warming
Mm-hmm.
up about to get started. So,
Let's
but
get
let's
started.
just get started. Listen, now this is what some things that I expect. I mean, as a father, I assume that these are things that. Well, once again, I'm gonna speak for my daughter at age, because I know my daughter than anybody else. Everybody should know their kids to a certain point in life,
Mm-hmm.
right? So before we get to even changing diapers or doing those type of things, I mean, first off, she needs to know how to dress herself by herself. Meaning that,
Mm-hmm.
she has a dresser. Meaning that if I go in the room and say, hey, go and get dressed, better go outside, right? Outside to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go outside and play. I'm expecting her to put some clothes on. I'm expecting her to know not to put on a dress, a church outfit,
Mm-hmm.
and some regular clothes. Like I need to
Mm-hmm.
know the difference. Now my
Mm-hmm.
baby girl, she's a little girly, so she loves dresses, which is cool. I'm not tripping on that, right? Long as they're dressed, they're long enough, whatever. But
Right.
she can't even do that properly, right? Not saying she can't, but I'm saying that we're talking about her changing a baby boy diaper. So yeah, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
Yeah,
can't
you're
go in the
right.
room,
You're absolutely right.
if you can't go in the room and find socks, find a dress and some tights under to wear, you shouldn't be looking at a baby on teach. I mean, it's not her; it's the parent. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
we won't get to it in a little bit, but I'm just based on what the baby girl know how to do. So she need to be able to go in the
Yeah.
room and how to dress. Right? That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, she need to be able to know how to read, write, and remember. Meaning that if I ask you to read maybe a short, let's say one page, right, or a chapter of a book, I need you to be able to recite to me in your own words what you just read. The story is about Jack, and Jack and Jill went up. Okay, I need that one. But the story is about Princess Diane, and Princess Diane drove a car, and Princess Diane got hurt. Whatever, stop there. My baby girl, if I give her something to read and recite it, she's writing word for word. I said, no, that you can't do that. You need to use your brain. You need to paraphrase it to yourself. Or
Mm-hmm.
if you're
Right.
telling your brother the story, you need to tell him the story without reading the
In
book
your
word for
words.
word.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That means she comprehends, not just remembers.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. Right.
She also to even add to that, she didn't know how money works. She didn't be able to
Right.
count money. She like what I mean.
Twins,
These are,
you are you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I digress. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, you you on fire today. I'm loving it. I mean, as a mom, I'm impressed, at your thought process as it pertains to your young girl, because a lot of times it's the dads that don't fully understand. They always push the domesticated part of it first, you know. Um, Make sure she watching you cook. But wait, she don't need to know how to cook yet. You know what I mean? Like, can she wash her hands properly first? Do she know it's 20 seconds or more? Like how you're saying, and a lot of times that's us women who are trying to slow the girls down, because we know how it could be. Once it go on go, that go button goes so quick before you like, it gets there really quick. You turn around and you have a teenager just like that, and they are in their full element of themselves. So if you don't start taking notice of who they are early, uh there are a lot of moms in my case go wrong, and that's from speaking to other women who come in these clubhouse groups and rooms, and they have mommy issues, right? So I'm getting that perspective from quite a bit of women where their moms were their BFFs, basically their homegirls, and that is a problem. I don't understand it. Like, I like you, twin. Once my daughter had her cycle, that's when the talk happened, and not just the talk. But I'm a mom, so I had other steps to
Mm-hmm.
take with her,
Right.
and that at that point, all the way into the bathroom, and everything. She had to know everything. So, but that's a mom's task.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, not prior to that happening though. Now, I will say prior to her cycle and us having the full blown conversation, there was a time where we had to have a talk because she was exposed to homosexuality. She was exposed. She went to camp for the first time. And at that time, no, it wasn't camp. It was like this thing. She went to a retreat type of thing with the church people. And that sounds so bad now that I think
Right.
about it.
Right. As you keep
Ain't nothing
talking,
I
it
can do
sounds
about that.
bad. Right.
Oh well, it was with people from church. Unfortunately, and one of the young girls, my daughter is really terrible at lying, so she ended up coming home and telling on herself and the girl, and that they were looking at whatever they were looking at. The good thing was they had not touched each other, because I had to
Right.
ask all of those questions, and that's tough, and it was just a year before she had her cycle, but still, it was months before she had her cycle, but still she was 8. She's like your daughter's age, and someone exposing your 8-year-old to something so crazy. It's happening more and more. We know that because the world is perverse, but it was really hard. It was really difficult because I could not bear going into the full throttle of things, and she wasn't developed all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I just got to cut this part of it off at the head and let her know, of course you may naturally be interested in someone that looks like you because you're with you all of the time. The first thing you get to know is you, and then your best friends that are mostly girls. But it's when you mature to a certain point that you're going to realize you ain't enough. Like, how do you tell a young girl you're gonna want that penetration when you gonna want the deep? Like, how do you tell a little girl that? But and what is other ways you definitely gotta let them know, like, this is not okay. And I think that's
I
what
agree.
makes the difference, and why people feel like, they grow up with certain sexual tendencies, and it's all learned behaviors. It's not something you're born with. It's something you learn, or you weren't taught to unlearn, or, direct that feeling. If there's no parental guidance there, naturally, I think we all would just start feeling, all different types of ways. But that's the whole point of having the parental foundation, and then it being extended to a whole village when they say it takes a village. So.
Yes, and then also to keep going, add up to my list that I have. Also,
Mm.
at a young age, yeah, because I'm not done. They she also need to understand the whole process of sharing and what sharing is, right? I mean, luckily, well, not luckily for her, but she's not the only child, right? So she does have to
Mm-hmm.
share with her brother, which is a good thing because I'm not trying to raise them spoiled brats, right? But to
Mm.
understand the concept of sharing with your brother and sharing with other people. Also, learn how to clean after yourself. Meaning, after you
Mm.
eat dinner, breakfast, lunch, snack, whatever, you just don't get up and run away. No, you clean your area up. You make sure there's no crumbs anywhere. You put your chair in nice and neat.
Yup, you're on a
Just
roll.
you know how to make up your bed, and you know how to the basic stuff. Just fold up the
Right.
covers to the bed. Make sure it's, just if you have shoes, they're in a certain area, nice and neat. So when you want to go outside or go somewhere, you know where your stuff is at. She also need to understand the whole reasoning behind discipline, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
because it's not because we're trying to be mean to you, or or what's it, abuse you. No, it's called responsibility and chores. When somebody tell you something, you need to listen and understand what they're asking you to do, and be a leader. Like, these are all things that has to be checked off in my box as a father who's raising a daughter before we even get to the
Before.
point of talking about
Mm-hmm.
changing diapers. I mean, I don't think my
Mm-hmm.
daughter has any. I don't think my daughter has any dolls that. I mean, she has dolls that require changing diaper, but she never did that with those. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that
Right.
stuff was on the ground, trash, whatever, all over the place.
Right.
So those are things. Those are things that need to be. I mean, I could keep going on, but those are things that need to be handled before it gets to the point. And
Yeah. She
I don't
should at least
understand.
know that she needs to have a panty drawer, a bra drawer. These things need to be separated, how to wash them. That's just my perspective before going into taking care of another being, person, period. You need to know how to fully take care of you before you'll know how to take care of someone else.
Or even if you're wearing a dress, when you sit down, you keep your legs crossed. When you lay
Mm-hmm.
on the ground, you're not laying with your butt in the air. I don't care if you're home or with your brother or not. No, that's not how you lay on the ground. That's not how and I think we had a conversation last time. You don't sit in no
Mm-hmm.
man's lap. You know, you barely sit in mine, right? But damn sure not
Mm-hmm.
sit in no one else's lap, right? But those are
Right.
some of the things that, as a foundation, that I know my daughter is not 100% at the age of 8. So
Mm-hmm.
me walking into a location where the whole family's in the room going through changing the baby diaper, like, it could have been a big blown out big argument. I could have blew off right there, which I didn't, because I had to calm down,
Look at
get
you.
my thoughts
I think
together.
I think I think we got something to do with that. We have.
I had to get my thoughts together. And then the funny
Mm-hmm.
thing is, a couple days later, because my kids I have my own. I have two bathrooms, but the kids have, they share the bathroom with the guests, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And when you use tissue to blow your nose, whatever, you throw it in the trash. Well, the problem is the kids throw they tissue and stuff on top, so the tissue is just flowing, like it's laying on top, meaning that it's not pushed away in. You didn't put it in the ball. And my daughter does that because she don't like touching the trash. She don't like, ew, it's dirty. And she don't like going to the trash, throwing her dishes in. I mean, her food in. So I happened to use a bathroom one day because our bathroom was being used to take a shower. And I saw that. And I went to mom and I went to grandma and I said, this is the reason why my daughter does not need to know how to change a diaper, because she don't know how to put trash in the trash can, right? How do
Oh
we
my
get to,
gosh.
because think about it. Listen, I'm not raising a nasty, dirty little girl, right?
Mm.
Like, I need my wife, not wife, I need my daughter to be a woman who knows how to take care of herself. No man wants a woman that does not clean after herself or keep herself. Like, when I was dating, when I go to a girl's house and I meet her, first thing I'll do is use the bathroom. Not because I had to use the bathroom, but if you go to a woman's bathroom and look around, you can see what type of woman she is. If her toilet is dirty, pee on the ground, that tells me a lot. If I open the shower curtain and the shower at the bottom is dirty, that tells me a lot about this person. If I look under the sink, oh hell, if I look on top of the sink, you got 101 bottles and chapstick, lotion, and all that stuff. That tells me everything about you. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, this ain't gonna work out.
Oh
So
my
yes,
God.
I'm raising me a little girl who's going to be a woman. I want to be a good woman to when she meet her husband, and that's a whole nother
Mm-hmm.
conversation. But I'm I'm changing the narrative because I want my daughter to have all the meat and potatoes when she eventually get out there. But the fact that she is already seeing another boy, I saw her brothers, right? She's seen another baby boy, another male's penis. I have a
Mm.
problem with that.
um, it sounds so bad. It sounds so bad when you say it out loud too. I can't even hold you. It sounds really bad when you say it out loud. But um how common it is the fight in my mind, because it's like I was changing diapers at 4. So it's like, wait a minute, how many of us have just taken on this role before fully being, mature enough? That prematurity thing, and you just going in, and I'm just sitting like, yep, I'm with you. I'm with you, and I commend you, and I hope that the message is getting across to other brothers listening, dads, and moms, because the lenses got to be changed. That narrative does need to be changed. Like, there's nothing wrong with teaching your daughter to be domestic, but prematurely in certain areas is going to open, young girls up to things we really don't want them to be exposed to. You know, that's
Yeah,
not something. Yeah. So
yeah, because
now,
we already fighting TikTok and all these social media apps. But go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, now with that being said, how do we, that's what we want for the young girls, right? Before they're interested in this. But when it's not them being interested, it's the adults pushing it on them. Now what?
When you say now, what you mean?
So how do you handle that part? Because that's the kid. We talked about, your daughter in this situation and what you would want to teach her and when. But then how do you handle the adults in the situation? Because it's not like, she started doing this on her own. You mentioned she doesn't even change her baby doll's diapers. It just be on the
Right.
floor. So this is something that she's being pulled into.
Yeah. I get you. I'm with you 2,000%. Yes, I had to have a firm conversation, I'll say. and I was able to use the garbage can as an example. I said, this is the reason why. You know what I'm saying? Because when I say it, like, oh, well, she's a girl. No, she doesn't need to know how to do. There's many things there's plenty of things she needs to know how to do, but doesn't mean she got to know how to do it right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right? You ain't teaching her how to pay a tempo on right now, are you? No. Okay, then my point exactly. So don't teach her how to do something that she ain't got to do right now. But anyway, I'm sorry. That was a little too. But anyway.
And that's still not something you teach even when the cycle starts. That still comes way later.
I know it does. But
Way later. Ooh,
But
you just hurt my little heart.
I'm sorry, but I had to have a conversation. It's like, this is exactly why. Because these are things that, as a dad, a father, I'm yelling at the kids and fussing about all the time. It's like, put the trash in the trash. I don't want to go in the bathroom and touch your snotty nose and stuff because you scared to do it. It's your snot. It's your tissue. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Push it
And
all the
wash your
way in.
hands.
And I mean, yeah, right. I mean, I didn't wash my hands. You know what I'm saying? But but
Yeah,
that's their
push it in and
problem.
then
So
wash your hands.
exactly, that's why we got soap and water everywhere. I don't want to come in your bathroom and there's toothpaste all on the sink or on the rim and stuff. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Clean up after yourself. Because people ain't coming in here. If people come in your bathroom, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know this, ladies and gentlemen, if somebody comes in your bathroom, and as a man, right? As a man, if I come in your house and I use your bathroom and your bathroom is crystal clean, smell good, look good, and as a man, I stand up and pee and I accidentally pee on the rim or something, I'm gonna get some tissue, I'm gonna wipe it down, make sure there's nothing on the side. I'm gonna clean your toilet if I mess it up, right? But if I come in your house and your toilet is nasty, I'm just gonna pee, I'm gonna keep the seat up and pee everywhere and walk out.
What?
I mean, not intentionally, but I'm saying that I'm not gonna clean it up because if it's already there, listen. If I come to your house and I'm scared to touch your toilet, you think I'm gonna flush the toilet? I'm gonna use my shoe and close, flush it. That's all I'm saying. That
Oh,
you didn't know
man.
that, did you? Yeah.
Oh, man.
Your bathroom tells a lot about you. Even as a man, I keep my bathroom clean all the time. Because I know women in the bathroom, they sit down. At least the woman I deal with, they sit down in the bathroom. So I make sure the bathroom's clean, smells good, there's soap everywhere.
I can't with him.
Listen, I
Lord,
even
he's
got the
on
smell
fire
good soap.
today.
Listen, I even got the smell good soap and the smell good lotion you put on afterwards. Yeah, I get the whole full experience because I'm not a nasty dude and I don't want a nasty woman. But back on topic. Sorry there. But yes, those are the things.
It's the
Those are
voice
things.
change for me, guys.
It's the things for me that is just like, there's certain levels before you expose your kids to certain things, because she may not say nothing, but she's going to think about the private part that she saw from a boy that she don't have. She might start thinking like, how come I don't have one of those then? And then what is how come I have one and how come he don't have this, and what does that mean, right? Those conversations are going to happen, and now I'm having forced to have a conversation I wasn't ready for kind of too soon, just so she can understand it, because I'm not going to lead the blind. And me not telling her would be a failure as a father to tell her about her body and what men have, especially when she ain't supposed to it. I mean, it's worse enough to see her brother, and I had to break that up. But now she see a whole other person. I'm like, yeah, this is getting out of hand now. But I think you said the question is how you handle with the other parents. Yeah, I had to have a conversation with them, let them know like I wasn't happy about this, and this is something that they are not required to do.
That's
not required to do. And so, like I said, I didn't cuss somebody out.
It was
too
well
crazy.
received.
It was well received. But if I see it again,
That's
yeah,
good.
I'm going 0 to 100 real quick, just like that.
Now, you do know that if there's a baby that's in the area often, like say a new niece or a new nephew, or you and your wife take on a god baby, and the baby's over, naturally your daughter's going to be attracted to helping mom or grandmom or anyone in that
Yeah.
process.
Naturally.
Yeah. Especially when they already kind of brought her into it. Like, if they didn't, initially separate her, like, no, we're doing grown-up stuff, you go sit down, like, with anything else, because that's really all it is grown-up stuff, right?
Right.
Then she's thinking it's regular things. It's a part of her, where she's prepared for it, and it's really not. So, I mean, moving forward, they would definitely have to let her know, oh, no, we're doing grown-up stuff. You go play with your baby dolls, or you go play on your tablet or whatever.
I mean, that's really the same thing. Like, for example, it's like grown folks talking. When grown folks are talking, your child should not be sitting in your face, all in a conversation, talking, answering questions, or just being in adult space. They need to go somewhere and sit down as we adults talk. That is the same thing when it comes to the situation of the diaper stuff. Like, no, okay, you can help out with this, but now I'm about to do this, it's gonna turn your head, whatever. I mean, we don't sit there and let kids watch rated R movies, do we? I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't. And if something about to happen, I tell them turn their head. You know, most movies I see, I already on watch already. So if I'm watching even a Marvel movie and they got a woman about to kiss another woman or a man kissing a man, I make sure to turn their head because that's something I don't want to expose them to.
Right.
And that's a whole nother topic because that stuff shouldn't be in those TV shows anyway. But I digress.
Now you know what? I 1000%.
That's a topic.
I mean, that's it. And that's another topic for another day.
So I mean, so if anyone out there thinking that I'm over exaggerating or saying it's not that serious, it is serious, especially in my with my community that I'm in, which is I'm a black man. You can probably see that, and I'm a real deal. I know some people have black faces, but really be white behind it. That's a whole other conversation that we had before. But in our black community, we have a lot of single mothers and single fathers, but majority single mothers raising kids by themselves. Well, why is this happening? Because our kids are exposed to certain things, and if they're not educated, they do things the non-proper way, right? Meaning that they may have sex, but don't know about wearing a condom, or make sure they do wearing a condom or birth control, and guess what? Then you have kids, and it's just a cycle that I'm trying to break, even with my own and with other women as well.
It's a cycle needing to be broken. So it takes both parties, men and women, to do it. And when we say change the narrative, these are the things that we're talking about. Like, let's not prematurely expose our young girls to changing diapers and taking care of people, and they haven't properly learned to fully take care of themselves or even know themselves. And then
that part right there.
When they told they're cute or certain little things, it becomes little triggers because we haven't properly developed them and let them know how valuable they are so young. When they're young, so that way it's not a problem later. The chances of them becoming teenage moms, the chances of them becoming in situations that would lend to, them being touched prematurely. I'm talking about when they put themselves in situations. I'm not talking about certain things that could happen, with people that are sick in the families and stuff like that. But if they go and they're out and they know they're supposed to be at school and they somewhere, it won't lend to that because they'll have a sense of value. And I'm speaking from experience because my dad did validate me, so I was the one that, no, you have to kiss my hand before you'd ever be able to kiss my lips. It did two things. It either got people who really, really, it let me know who really, really liked me. One, because there was so many people who was like, what? Kiss your hand? Because girls was giving it up. We talk about this all the time. I got this girl over here willing to give me head behind these bleachers, and you talk about kiss your hand? Nah, you good. You can keep your hand. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? That was what was happening. These young girls was already giving it up. I hadn't even touched high school yet. But my dad told me every day that I was a beautiful black queen and that no man is to touch my lips unless he kissed my hand. And my father said I'm his until he give me away. So these was things that were repeated to me consistently. So I know that this stuff works in terms of, delaying that process with the young girls becoming moms early and, getting into different sexual things. They want to be lesbians or this, that, and the third, because that father role is that important. That's how important the father role is. I don't care what the mother do or don't do. If the father is in that young girl's life, the chances of her, being strong are way greater than if the father's not in her life.
Facts, because that's our job.
And I know that firsthand. Yeah, I know that firsthand because I have sisters. So they weren't raised the same way I was raised with my dad. They don't even have that relationship. It's almost like he was an absent father. So I can see the difference, like firsthand. I can see exactly how it works. So it's important, It's really important. Twins, you're on a mission to educate the young women. And as we, working as a duo in a lot of ways, I echo that same message, but more so for the value of men. You telling the women that, hey, listen, you're at more risk. And I want to let the young men know, hey, you have a lot more value than you know,
Yes,
you
facts.
know. Just let them know. If they could, and I think that's what the whole attacks are set on, to devalue and demasculate the man. So it's really, that's what needs to be strengthened and encouraged and pushed. Because if the man is right, let me tell you, the whole household is going to be right. Everything has to line up.
Now, one thing I can say positive about this situation. Well, okay, not positive. Well, anyway, I'll say this.
The silver
uh,
lining.
you're right. The silver lining in it is that when I did say what bothered me about it, I didn't get like a pushback as if I was wrong for saying or feeling the way that I felt. Because sometimes you get the pushback saying, well, "I'll do whatever I want. It's my daughter too." I didn't get that. I didn't get that
Right,
pushback.
right.
Right.
That's what's
Maybe
up.
that they both didn't see it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I did. And sometimes that's the benefit of having two people, especially a man and woman together. One person may see something different, another person won't see. But if you're
Right,
open to receive feedback, it could be a win-win. Because at the end of the day, me personally, as a father, raising little girls only 8 years old, that wasn't the good look or best look that should have happened, right?
right.
And I asked a few ladies this question, and a lot of them said they didn't see a problem with it, but I ain't telling the full story. One lady said, "I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
see a problem with it, but if it's a boy, hell to the no." I was like, "Thank you." But
Mm-hmm.
once again, I didn't tell them the full story. I asked a general question, and like I said,
Right.
because I'm a man, so I don't know those things about raising a girl, right? So I lean on a lot of the lady friends that I do know. Of course, they're my wife, but if the wife did something that I can't lean on her because she the reason why she's doing this, right? So apparently she don't know. And I'm not saying to be mean, but it's just a simple fact. Like, I'm not gonna have my son changing no girl's diaper. No way. Matter of fact, you can't be in the same room when a girl gets undressed. Because
Mm-hmm.
no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you like girls, cool. I love that. Yes, good job, son. But we're not getting into this conversation yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. You don't want to have him premature either. And that's why I said that I commend you and give you your flowers now, because there are a lot of men that push that, especially on their male children. They trying to get their male children uh 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 to bust at 5 and 6. Like, bro, what's happening right now? This is
Right.
borderline molestation. I'm just saying, it's too soon. You pushing the thing way too soon. And then the promiscuity that they push after that. Okay, first you're trying to make sure he get his first one. You even go get a hooker. Like, we've seen that on all of our coming up in all our movies. We've seen it in our families. Like, that's a real thing where guys are taught like that being a virgin is a bad thing in some strange way.
Nah.
Like, you picked on for it or whatever. So we definitely got to change the narrative so that young men know that that is not a trophy to, tackle, get that situation done at a tender age of like 14. And that's too soon.
Very,
That's too
very.
soon.
And I mean, and for me, the reason
And it
why I
messes
take
up their logic because, y'all can't function after you start doing that.
no, right. Once you've been exposed, you exposed. It's like a crack. I gotta have
Yeah.
it,
Uh-huh.
and everything
Y'all
you
get
gonna
messed
do.
up after that.
Fact, because then at that point we're doing everything so we can get it again. And it's sad but true. And like I said, the reason why I made it a big deal because it's like not saying that she going to get pregnant, but let's say she did get pregnant, right, at a young age, not 8. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about like 16, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because she's still trying to figure herself out. I said, what kind of woman you gonna be? You don't even know how to clean after yourself.
Mm.
You don't know how to do the basic things as a woman. So if you all think it's cute to not change a baby's diaper, but you don't know how to clean your house and clean yourself, that is a problem. Like I took it all the way there. 8 years old, I'm thinking about her being pregnant. I'm thinking about her having
Mm.
kids and not knowing how to clean up herself. Because guess what? She don't do it now. Listen, I ain't trying to put my baby girl on blast, but she's an 8-year-old girl. I can say whatever I say. You know what I'm saying? 8-year-old girl, she need to figure it out. Is it my job to raise her? Yes,
Right.
it is. But am I doing that? Yes, I am. So when I go off and stuff like this, because I'm trying to prevent things from happening and also do my part. I'm not going to, blame somebody else. It's like, oh, well, you know, it's society out there. Nah, 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 nah. I was there. So I'm taking full
Mm-hmm.
responsibility. I'm sorry, accountability, because I'm big on that.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what the listeners got to say about, teaching your young girls how to change a diaper. I'm interested to hear, if they agree with our perspective, or, if they feel like it's no big deal, because like I said, naturally a young girl, if she's in the same room, if she's left to see it, she's going to naturally want to help. She's going to want to grab the diaper and the baby powder, or I don't think we use baby powder anymore, but the lotion or whatever it is. Yeah. But
Right.
back in the day when I was changing diapers, of course we used baby powder. Um, and like I had
Which
mentioned to you, go ahead.
no,
Hmm.
no. So
Which,
what I'm saying, as far as like being that helper, as far as getting the diaper and stuff, baby
hmm
powder, whatever, those things
hmm
I don't have a problem with, right? But when it comes to the person, the little child being undressed, that part you need to step away and look away.
hmm
That's all with me.
yeah, yeah,
You can
and I
play.
think it depends on the maturity too of the young girl. And 8 is still very immature, so I'm gonna hit play.
Hey y'all, I kind of agree. Well,
Oh, she must be coming back with something.
And
Well,
I
yeah.
hate I hate
Go
to
ahead.
say this, but we probably won't hear much from men, a lot of men,
Hmm.
because and the reason why I said because a lot of men one are not raising their child, right? I'm not taking the shot, but I'm a man, and I know a lot of men who don't, and especially if they have baby girls, they're like, oh no, I ain't doing that. The mother's gonna handle
Hmm.
that part, and some guys like, nah, I ain't doing nothing. When it comes to changing a diaper, I hand it right over to the mama, right? Because like I don't want to see my baby girl like that, and I get that
hmm
part, right? I understand. But me personally, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna be that dad that's gonna be all involved because I'm a guy and I know what women, I know what we want. I know what we chase in the street. I know what happens. I
hmm
know the risks that the women take.
Right. Right.
So, I mean,
Well,
like I said,
you right.
I don't think it's a. I mean, and listen, I said I had to say.
Well, yeah, you came in on flame, so
I
you
mean, am I?
simmering down right now.
I'm simmering down, but am I still upset about it? Yes, I am. Because some people, didn't think it was that big of a deal. I said that it is a bigger deal. It's worse than that. We got all
Yeah.
these challenges out here, all these busted challenges, all these WAP things that are being promoted. Now you exposing the deceit. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I just do.
Yeah. Yeah, and rightfully so, rightfully so, because then you don't have the you don't have the capability of determining where this exposure takes the young person, right?
Right.
After that, you don't get to decide anything else. You don't know if it's going to be a plus side, a plus or a negative, and that's the part where you take the job of parenting, for granted a little bit, because you're looking at it from just you. You're not really considering the young person in that sense. And I think we're just accustomed to that type of love anyway. Like, we're not accustomed to a person loving us unconditionally at that young age. Like when my kids talk to my siblings or talk to my parents, it's completely different from them, because it's almost like now they have to guard what they say, because it may just be opening them up to trauma they don't know nothing about,
Right.
because they've not lived that. But let me press play before I go down that route.
I'm still learning how to work this app, y'all. But yeah, just to keep it short and simple, yeah. If the little girl can't take care of herself, we shouldn't be, instilling these nurturing Because it's going to come naturally. But first, we need to teach the importance of taking care of self, self-love, self-care, and everything that works with you first before you can focus on somebody else or even have that title or responsibility of taking care of older folks. Because, yeah, like you said, those generational stuff back in the day, it had to come from somewhere, right? I mean, just thinking.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Coffee Talk, for your comment. And I completely agree with you. It came from somewhere, and we just don't talk about it. But then we just act on it because we still live in trauma, a lot of us. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't do that self research and then that self inventory and love and get rid of unnecessary stuff, you'll just be repeating cycles unknowingly, like not even realizing it. And that's just part of those things. And until you go and think about it, like you probably for the first time in your wife and her mom's life jilted something in them for them to think like, wait, what am I doing? If I was that woman, if that were me, it would have put me in such a place of wanting to search myself to figure out why didn't I see it that way, to kind of get like, why would I think that this is okay? So, you might be the first person to ever put them in that space to have, to think that. And that's part of changing the narrative. That's a major part. Is the reception though. The receptiveness has to be there, especially from the women, like you said, because usually they get an attitude like, what? It's my daughter too. You know. Twins, you there? You sound
Yep,
like
I'm
you
still
moving
here.
around.
My bad. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do a quick run real quick, and my
Oh,
apologies, but
okay.
I'm here. But no, I'm here. I agree 100% because we're going
Okay,
to change the
you heard
narrative.
Coffee Talk comment, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, all that. Yeah, she hit on top of it now. I have no disagreement. I agree.
Okay.
I mean, there's just certain things that kids should not be exposed to, and yes, we talked about the whole diaper thing. Yeah, I mean even comes down to movies. There's certain things your kids should not be exposed to. The world is already tough. The world is already complicated in the way that it is right now. Why do you want to add those additional things into a young child's mind who can barely tie their own shoe? Do you understand the logic behind that? You can't even tie your shoe right, but you know how to change a diaper. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing?
Right. What are we doing?
How did we get here?
Like I'm thrown back a little bit, like, because like I told you, my daughter's 13 and she still doesn't know how to change a diaper. She's not had to do that. But I'm thinking, like, for me, it started at such a young age, and my first sibling was a boy. So, I knew how to properly wipe a boy before I knew how to properly wipe myself. Because I wasn't taught those things. I didn't have the one-on-one with my mom for me, but they showed me, we were separated from my mom. So, but they did show me how to wipe my brother because I had to do that. Nobody else was changing them. So it was like, oh, that's your brother. You gonna change him. I was like, okay. So I had to take on a role that wasn't mine at a very early age, but still, you know, it just goes to the culture, like I said, and changing these norms. We need new norms, and if we start to invoke this value, because that's really all we're doing is instilling value in our children. They're not going to be easily swayed to these movements, and they're not going to be easily swayed to just. They're not going to be gullible. You know what I mean? They're going to be prepared and matured. So that's really what needs to happen. Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and press play, twins.
Yeah, mommy. You know me, man. I'm a Yama man. I'll clean you from the front to the back.
Did you
Yeah,
twins?
yeah.
Did
What we're
you
not
do
gonna
that?
do? What we're not gonna do?
I'm
he
like,
was
I
going.
looked at the phone like, wait, what happened?
He was going down the path that was a conflict to the conversation that we've been talking about.
He said, not today, saying.
Nah,
Not today.
I mean, listen, you start the conversation all talking about, yeah, baby. No. No. This is
Yeah.
for this
Isn't
is
that
for
something?
educational purpose right here we're talking about. This is some real life stuff. You can joke about anything else, but we're being real here. This may not be
Right.
this may not be this may not be the show for you today.
Right. You won't hijack this show. I love it. I support. Let me just stand here and support. Go ahead and do that, twins. You better go ahead.
Listen,
So,
because I mean, because he probably because more likely he don't have any kids and he probably don't have a daughter. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
people don't care. People don't care about things that doesn't relate to them, which I understand that. But my daughter means the world and life to me. So yeah, listen, you see how extreme act right there. So imagine somebody did something or even think about doing something to my daughter. How extreme I'm going to be. Yeah, I'm taking it all the way there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why.
As
But
you
also,
should.
but at this point, that's why she need to have that accountability of how to be a little girl and then work your way up to certain things, right? But right now, out the gate doing this, it's a no go. But I mean, we can wrap it up here. I think I had touched on everything I needed to.
Well, I appreciate you again. And yes, we were in agreement. I think the audience agreed this time as well. Thank you guys for the comments and for listening, for the feedback. It is The Real Deal versus How You Feel with Miss I Speak Life and my good brother and friend.
Twinsinc.
All right. Keep following us. We'll be back on Wednesday at 3 p.m. See you guys soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.